Must see Soulful Tours in 2023, Part 1. Now, my wife and I, we really enjoy going to live shows. Dinner and a movie is cool, but having a nice dinner and then going to hear great, soulful live music is our favorite date night. And several great soulful artists are hitting the road in 2023, and I'm here for it. So here's part 1 of the tours I'm most excited to see in 2023. Note, these are all national tours, and part 1 only covers the tours up to June of this year. First up, the Soul to Soul Tour. Kim and Ledisi with special guest, Musiq Soulchild. Now, out of all the tours on this list, this is the best pure soulful lineup, in my opinion. All 3 of these artists are very respected, and yet I think all 3 are underrated as soulful vocalists. Kim, Ledisi, and Musiq all have loyal fan bases, grown and sexy, mature audiences who appreciate real soul music. Now, we don't have tickets to this show as of yet, but we did see Musiq Soulchild at the music hall in the DMV called the Birchmere this past November, and he gave a good show. The Soul to Soul Tour is a must-see. The show will be at Constitution Hall when it comes to the DMV in May, and we have to snatch up tickets to this show. Next up, the Who is Jill Scott Tour. It's a celebration of Jill Scott's iconic debut album. Now, this is a show that all soul music fans across generations should see. Jill Scott is a top-tier vocalist and known for her very entertaining and engaging live shows. And I hate to admit this, but we've never seen Jill Scott in concert, ever. And it's really a shame considering how much we love Miss Scott's music. She's one of our favorite artists. So we have to get our hands on these tickets by the time she plays at the MGM at the National Harbor in May. It's a must-see. Next up, the Janet Jackson Together Again Tour with Ludacris. Now, Janet Jackson is an icon, a pop music superstar, a legend in music and on stage. Soul runs in her legendary family. Janet going on tour is always a big deal. Her explosive, dance-heavy catalog is perfect for the stage. We won't get Janet at her peak, but Janet on stage at almost 60 years old will still give a better performance than what most artists 30 years younger than her could even dream of pulling off. And that's facts. The infectious energy of hip-hop legend Ludacris should have the party in full swing every night by the time Miss Rhythm Nation graces the stage. We don't have tickets to this show yet, but it's definitely a must-see. Next up, the New Edition Legacy Tour with Guy and Keith Sweat and special guest Tank. Now, if you grew up as I did in the late 80s through the early 90s, this is an amazing lineup that you just want to see. Every fan of that famous New Jack Swing sound should have a ticket to this show when it comes to your area. Now, New Edition is arguably the kings of the stage when it comes to their generation. It's hard to make a credible argument against that claim. They are the perennial soulful group of their era. The group's music catalog is iconic, and the story of their careers is all-time legendary. They're the cream of the soulful crop on stage, and they're heading back on the road with the masters of New Jack Swing, Guy, and the one and only Keith Sweat. R&B vocalist Tank, who reps the DMV, will open the show. And yes, we do have tickets to this show when it comes to the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. in mid-March. And I can't wait. Now, last but certainly not least, the Anita Baker The Songstress Tour. Miss Anita Baker, your highness of elegant jazzy soul, is gracing the stage once again, and this time to celebrate the 40th anniversary of her debut album. and we all as soul music fans should consider ourselves blessed to see a true legend live on stage. Out of all the tours on this list, the Songstress tour in many respects is the one I am most excited about seeing. Miss Anita Baker is top 5 great in the list of soulful female vocalists. Her voice, her elegance, her beauty, the passion in her music. I've never seen Anita in concert, so I told my wife, if Miss Baker goes back on tour and comes anywhere near the DC area, we're going. So when I found out she was hitting the road again, we bought our tickets, floor seats, as soon as they were available during the pre-sale. I'm excited and I can't wait to see Miss Baker grace the stage when she comes to Baltimore in May, on Mother's Day. So which tour are you most interested in seeing? Which concert do you think is underrated? And which tour do you think is overrated? Who do you think will give the best show? Which tour do you think will make the biggest all-around splash and impact in 2023? Share your comments. Here at Soulful Charts, we got the receipts. Thanks for joining me again. Peace.